Yes!
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another brand new episode of The Completionist. The Sony PlayStation experience is happening this weekend in Anaheim, California, and I'm very excited. I cannot wait to hear more news about Final Fantasy VII Remake, maybe a little bit on the God of War side. Hopefully we'll hear something about this rumored Marvel vs. Capcom 4. I don't know. I'm super hyped, but I'm sure none of that stuff's going to pan out the way that I'd like. In any case, it really got me thinking, you know what? I haven't really played an original PlayStation franchise game in a while, so let's go ahead and open up the next chapter for Spyro. And this game is Year of the Dragon. Well. The guys at Insomniac Games must have had pretty big britches back in 1999. As of then, they had two successful Spyro games under their belts. The original Spyro game managed to rip open young players' hearts, allowing the little purple dragon to fly inside and make himself at home. Kind of like Braveheart. No, it's Dragonheart. Wrong movie. And the sequel, Ripto's Rage, allowed Spyro to proudly proclaim, "Hey, I'm not a fluke. I'm a mascot, damn it, and I'm here to stay. Please don't forget about me." But for Spyro's third time out, the developers wanted to do things a little differently, and I do mean a little. At first glance, there just doesn't seem to be much of a difference between Spyro 2 and Spyro 3 Year of the Dragon, which was released for the PlayStation in the year 2000. The new game boasts slightly improved visuals and some bigger levels, but the biggest and most important new feature is undoubtedly Spyro's new animal pals. Now I know what you're thinking, animal pals never work out, they're always uninspired and no one ever likes them. But maybe Spyro's new crew won't be so bad. His previous sidekicks were kind of okay. You had Sparks the Dragonfly, he was cool, and Hunter the Cheek. Ugh! Oh my god. When you really stop to look at him, it's pretty clear that Hunter is on crack or some kind of drug. Is there some rule about cartoon cheetahs being strung out that I'm missing? Is there a problem in the cheetah community? Well, despite Hunter's inclusion, Year of the Dragon turned out to be mildly successful and marked a suitable end for Insomniac's development with Spyro and an appropriate final chapter in the original Spyro Trilogy. And now that it's the Year of the Dragon in real life, I thought it'd be a good time to...
No, it's the Year of the Monkey.
What was that?
It's the Year of the Monkey right now.
I don't give a shit. I'm playing it anyway. For once, I think I'm actually going to have a pretty easy time completing a game. Spyro 3 is mechanically simple, so there are no achievements to worry about, and I'm pretty sure I can finish it in just one playthrough. I'm just going to have to make sure to scour every level to ensure that I complete every task and grab every collectible. There are a couple of things I am a bit concerned about, namely the potential existence of crappy elements from the polygonal era of gaming. You know, bad controls, terrible cameras, glitches, this ugly-ass cheetah. The past was a dangerous place, you guys. Hunter looks bad in all of the games. He just somehow gets worse. And then there's the fact that Spyro 3 doesn't seem to offer that much brand new. Year of the Dragon seems alarmingly similar to the first two Spyros, and although I appreciate an easier challenge every once in a while, having my brain shut off due to boredom never feels good. Bad things can happen when your brain shuts off, everyone. You can forget to do your homework, which means that you ain't going to college, meaning you ain't getting a good job, and you'll end up on the streets, which means you're gonna end up looking like this goddamn ugly-ass cheetah. Just say no, kids. Both of you cheetahs are ugly, goddamn. Spyro Year of the Dragon is like one of those cartoon series that only got 13 episodes, but they kept replaying it on TV anyway. You've seen just about everything it has to offer, and even though it's endearing and all, you just wish you could get something new. I'll even take like a season 1.5, just give me more episodes that are different and not the same. The story begins with Spyro and his buddies passed out on the lawn like they just threw an all-night rager on Frat Row. That's when a mysterious bunny named Bianca appears from a hole in the ground and commands her Rhinoc troops to steal every last dragon egg in the dragon realms. I just want to point out, a bunny is stealing the dragon eggs from the dragons. Dragons! The eggs are dragged all the way back to the other side of the world, to a place called the Forgotten Worlds. Ooh, There's more than one world and they forgot about them. It's there that an evil sorceress plans to use the dragon eggs for her own evil schemes. And of course, Spyro is the only one who can save the day. Because, and this is real, he's the only one who can fit inside of the holes leading to the other side. You dragons couldn't maybe dig some more or make the holes bigger because you just breathe fire. You're gonna send the smallest dragon by himself. Oh, no, I forgot. It's worse than I thought because they're gonna send Hunter the cracked out cheetah with him. You know he's just gonna fuck things up. These are the children that we're talking about. You dragons should be ashamed of yourselves. You're sending a dragon to go after a bunny that's jacking your eggs. Year of the Dragon's premise is fine. It's perfectly fine. It's hard to ignore the fact that it's basically the same premise as the last one. When it all boils down, we're still just sent on a mission to collect a bunch of stuff to stop the bad guy, even if the MacGuffin is eggs instead of orbs this time. Now before all of you get mad, but Gerard, all the Mario games are the same. Wouldn't you? Shut up. They're not the exact same. They're different enough. This needs to be different. It also doesn't really help that the game almost looks identical to Spyro 2. The backgrounds, while having some interesting new themes, are the same kind of generic flat playlands from the previous games. And as far as I can tell, the character models haven't changed at all either. They're still the blocky, charming mess of polygons they've always been. Let me put it to you this way. If you can put footage of Spyro 2 and Spyro 3 next to each other, I'd honestly have a pretty hard time telling you which one was which. The sound design is some of the most enjoyable stuff in the game. The voice acting is well performed, and the dialogue can be pretty amusing. Tom Kenny, the voice actor of SpongeBob SquarePants, reprises his role as Spyro and the various animal buddies in the Forgotten Worlds.
I'd like to stay and chat, but I'm late for an engagement with a fairy friend of mine. She's just a friend, you understand. It's a strictly platonic relationship.
The sound effects are appropriately cartoony, and the music is actually pretty damn good. Thank goodness for the soundtrack helping to make each level feel different from one another. All in all, there's not really anything special about Spyro 3 on the surface. If you're a young kid and a big fan of Spyro, then I can imagine you being excited about getting more and more of the same. But I'm an adult, and this is 2016. I require constant updates in order to be entertained. I am this close to changing the channel from Spyro the Cartoon to Mummies Alive, and Mummies Alive wasn't even that great to begin with. Good God. Welcome to the world of collecting stuff. It's always been the bread and butter of the Spyro games, and Year of the Dragon gratuitously continues that tradition. But in a tragically ironic twist, the game's new features, which hold the potential to breathe some freshness into the franchise, end up as some of the worst parts of the game. But first, let's talk about the tried and true. Spyro still possesses all of the moves usually associated with the tiny dragon fighting style. Head Bash! Flame Spit! Gale Wing Glide! These are the tools used to dispatch Spyro's foes and traverse the game's many gaps and platforms. And many of Spyro's familiar power-ups also return, including souped-up fireballs, the ability to fly, and full-on invincibility. But let's not forget that this is in fact a rescue mission, and in order to get those dragon eggs, you'll need to search all over the place. You can get them by taking out enemies, completing mini-missions for NPCs you encounter, and sometimes they'll just be sitting out in the open. Yeah, that one's a freebie. Each egg holds a unique little baby dragon with its own name and everything. Oh, Spyro, you're a dad now. There's no going back. Those things imprint hard on the first person they see, and you better raise those babies right or else I'll call Maury on you!
You are not the father.
And then there are the skill points, which are little challenges that seem to have nothing to do with the plot or the rest of the game's mechanics. We're talking things like burning down all the trees you can find and breaking every window. They're kind of like proto-achievements, and they'll award Spyro with an extra life each time he acquires one. Once again, there are tons of gems to collect, and you still need heaps of them to unlock areas and progress. And look, everyone's favorite extortionist, Moneybags the Bear, is back too! All this motherfucker does is jack people for their hard-earned gems under the guise of free enterprise. Mental note, Moneybags is on my personal shit list next to online achievements. Get revenge later. When you break it down, Year of the Dragon is about running around, doing random tasks, and picking stuff up off the floor. It honestly feels like going to one of those cheap carnivals. Everywhere you look, there are things going on, and everyone you talk to will lead you to a little mini-game where you'll get a prize if you perform well enough. It's fun, but you can't shake the feeling that the challenges are a little thin. There is some variety to be found within Year of the Dragon. For the first time in the series, you can play as characters other than Spyro. The updated roster includes Sheila the Kangaroo, who specializes in super jumps and powerful kicks, Sergeant Bird, a penguin who can fly and drop death from above, Bentley, a club-wielding Yeti, and Agent 9, a space monkey with the laser blaster. What a colorful cast of characters. It's clear that each of these additional characters was designed to provide entirely unique gameplay experiences. Their levels and missions are distinctly designed around them and their abilities, meaning that there are some sections of the game that genuinely feel different than traditional Spyro fare. Amazing, I know! It's almost like they thought about their game. They didn't. I'm just saying. They didn't think about their game. If you add in the missions in which you got to play as Sparks and the various vehicle piloting levels, one might consider Year of the Dragon to be the most innovative of the original Spyro titles. But there's the rub. None of the other characters or gameplay modes feel as responsive, fleshed out, or as fun as playing as Spyro. It's just like when you spend the whole game getting used to your character, you slowly increase your comfort with their skills and you're leveling up and unlocking their true potential, and then in the late game, you're forced to use a new and entirely unenjoyable control scheme. Because your character has to drive some kind of crappy vehicle or wield some lame-ass weapon, you're no longer able to play the character in the form you've grown accustomed to. Now, I'm not saying that Spyro's new animal pals feel terrible to play as. They're just fine. They're just fine. It's just that none of them come close to feeling as fun as the purple baby dragon. And on the other hand, playing as Spyro quickly becomes a bit monotonous. For example, Spyro never unlocks new abilities in this game. He's exactly the same from the top to bottom, making him feel way more stagnant than he did in the previous games. Nothing is frustrating or unfun here, it's just all a bit bland. Actually, I take that back. There is one thing in this game that's frustrating and unfun. Fuck these little thieves that you have to chase down multiple times. Just look at this. Look at this. Once or twice, I get it, but they keep showing up. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Just leave. Ultimately, Year of the Dragon is caught between the rock and a hard place of uninspired new stuff and overwhelming onslaught of old stuff. Tracking down every egg and all of the gems isn't tough, but keeping your mind occupied while you do it is the real challenge. You can always put on a podcast while you play, or have Netflix going on in the background like some Gilmore. No, you get out of here! No, we're not smoking crack while we play Spyro. We're not about that life, Hunter. Go get some goddamn help. Jesus Christ. All nonsense aside, it feels good to know that I can count on older games to give me something for my efforts. To kick things off, beating the game gives you access to simple codes that you can input to view any of the game's cinematics or warp to any area you wish. And just like the last time, collecting all the skill points actually gets you something too. They'll unlock a bonus storybook-esque epilogue that details the final fates of all of the game's characters. Since collecting everything in sight is how you actually progress in Spyro Year of the Dragon, you'll probably be well on your way to completing it by the time you beat the game. But if you wish to go for that gold, then you'll first have to obtain every egg and gem available to you, which total 149 and 15,000 respectively. Doing so will unlock Super Bonus Round, a hidden realm that contains a few more bonus levels and a lot more gems. Collecting every gem in Super Bonus Round will bring the count up to a whopping 20,000. And, more importantly, you finally get to exact your revenge on Moneybags. You knew this was coming, you piece of shit bear. You reap what you sow. You were on the list, and you got marked down. I'm coming for you next, online achievements. Once you've got your 20,000 gems, you'll gain access to the last level and true final boss of the game, a rematch against the evil sorceress, which turns out to be a pretty disappointing and goddamn boring fight. But at least it's something, huh? Yeah, something. Beating her will reward you with the final dragon egg, which contains the twins Yin and Yang. Aw, they're fated to hate each other, but they need each other. That final egg marks your official 100% complete. Huh. What an oddly specific percentage. You'd think that they'd set your file at 85% or so upon beating the game for the first time, letting you know that, hey, there are still things that you haven't discovered in the game. The way it is now, tons of kids have undoubtedly beaten the game and seen it and said, you know what, 100%, turn my back on it forever, I'm good. Fuck his friends, fuck Spyro, I did it. Why do this? Spyro Year of the Dragon feels like a bit of a blur, and I think that might be its biggest sin. It's simply forgettable. A truly bad game is one thing, but as it stands now, this game seems like the filler of the original Spyro saga. During my completion of Spyro Year of the Dragon, there were 13 hours of total playtime, 14 deaths, 20 skill points picked up, 150 eggs acquired, 20,000 gems grabbed, and 1 trip to rehab for Hunter the Cheetah. Hey man, we love you. We're gonna get you the help that you need. We're gonna put your brother in there with you, Chester the Cheetah. He's gonna be right there by your side each and every step of the way. You're gonna be fine. We're gonna be there for you. Everyone loves you. Year of the Dragon is one of those games whose lack of meaningful completion bonus is offset by how short and easy it is. It falls squarely on that bittersweet spot of, it's not that great, but it's a pretty okay way to spend an afternoon. At the very least, it provides more of the classic Spyro gameplay for those who are fans of it. Everyone else, good luck. Year of the Dragon was a bit of a mess. It was the most mediocre, okay game I have played in quite a while. I loved Spyro 1, and I love Spyro 2 even more. I love the direction they were all aiming to go. And then Spyro 3, Year of the Dragon, just kind of felt like a DLC add-on. Spyro 2.5, and nothing really evolved or changed from that. No new power-ups. Yeah, some side characters here and there and the new mechanics of that, but it's the same game as the previous ones, and I just have to remain calm about it because the first two were so good. This third one really is just okay. So, with that in mind, guys, I give this game my completionist rating of play it.
Play it. Play it. Play it. Play it. Play it.
With that in mind, guys, I give this game my completionist rating of play it.